camera is cockeyed. I don't know if that fan is going to be too loud or what. Probably won't need it so much. All right. I only have maybe like an hour or so before work, so let me cut to it pretty quick. There's a couple things I want to go over. I spent some time off and on over the weekend figuring out that there's a lot that I don't understand and I don't know. Because when you, and I'm sure a lot of people, whoever maybe mess around with a game like this or similar to this, you're going to run into the fact that it's just simply trying to go in here and like, let me show you something that I came up with. This is based off of a design that I had found. I was really struggling with the NAND gate or the AND gate. One of the gates, I was trying to get it down to 5 MOSFET chips. And I really couldn't wrap my brain around it. I probably spent off and on, either Sunday or Saturday or both. One of those days I spent off and on. I'm having trouble explaining this. My thought process, the way I work, is I like to focus on something I want to figure out, and I'll really get into it. And if I'm noticing I'm not making any progress after a while, let's say like an hour, what I typically do is I'll leave it alone, and I'll go. I want to kind of break. I try to break my where my brain's going for a moment because it's not working. So I try to snap out of it, break myself away for a moment, whether it's to go get a snack or a drink, use the restroom. Sometimes I even will go outside, get a breath of fresh air, things like that. I do that with my work, my job, all sorts of things in my life. That's kind of something that I do because I'm an optimizer, and I am somebody who will just bang his head against that wall until I figure it out. I'm very patient. I'm very when I get on a task that I want to figure out, I will spend sometimes a lot of time figuring it out. So throughout the weekend, even though I probably have several hours on this game, I probably only spent a couple of those hours actually at my computer, and other times I either just broke away, did something else. But I didn't close out the game because I like to, the moment something pops in my head and I go, oh yeah, let me try this, I want to get back into it and get right on it. So even if it's something on the computer or at my office or anything in my life, if I'm doing but that's kind of like my process, that I'm trying to figure this thing out. And if I'm struggling with it, sometimes I'll just leave it static, leave it where it's at, and remove myself from the situation and go do something else to give my brain that kind of a break away from it, because wherever I'm at in thinking is not working, and I've been working on it for a while, and I want to kind of break that thought process for a moment and then get back to it from maybe another angle of attack or something. That's kind of the best way I can try to explain it. I don't consider myself as someone who has like an ego. Like, I don't sit here and go like when I figure this stuff out, I don't sit there and go, oh, man, I'm so smart, look at me, I'm amazing. I don't do that stuff. I don't do anything like this, or even in my job or in my life, as a waving a flag like, look at me, look how smart I am, look at how good I am at something. I just focus on the task and achieve it. Because look at someone, without going on in this really long tangent. Another example I can give of that is so someone like the likes of Mike Tyson when he was young. Customato, his trainer, his guru, whoever you want to call him, that was training him early on, was like hypnotizing him and doing things with his psyche to say, man, don't, this isn't about you, it's about the task. There is no you, it's just the task. That's kind of similar thought process that I have with things like this. Is it's not about whether I succeed or fail, it's not me, it's this thing. So that's kind of another example I can try and give about that. I'm still human. I'm not saying I'm some kind of robot, but I'm robot-like in that sense. So I really try to remove my ego from a lot of things. You know, most of the time I'm successful, but sometimes I'm not because I'm a human being. Um, so that being said, if there's something I'm doing and it's frustrating because it's like, man, why isn't this working? You know, I messed around with this design. I think it was on the and or the NAND or one of the two or something. Um, I was really trying to implement. Here, let's just. I know this one works, so let me just save it because I guess I had deleted it, messing around with it earlier or something. Where was the output? I don't even remember where the output was on this one. I think this is it right here. Yeah, I mean the blueprint's there anyways. I want to say it was the and because I had already had a good ore chip and I was struggling with getting an advanced and I couldn't wrap my brain around why it wouldn't work. And I think this is where I found this one online through Steam. I'm not like I did check a few things like the Reddit. I couldn't get it for some reason. The Discord server invite doesn't work. I couldn't get into the Discord server, so I'm kind of like I'm looking for some kind of a guidance with stuff. Um, and the only thing I found was a picture through Steam that gave me this. I know in the game there's ways to import and export blueprints, which is nice, but it's important for me that I understand why it works too. So I really don't want to blindly copy stuff. So I got this one and I want to understand how this worked because it's a really cool design and it got it down to the 5 chips. You know, this is something I was really like, man, if you, because I was stuck at 6 for a long time, and I'm like, once I get down to 5, I can get it quicker, I can reduce the block size and all that stuff, and I just couldn't figure it out. If you sit in here and you're fighting it through the traces here, you're really going to probably most likely do yourself a disservice and drive yourself nuts, like I was just about doing to myself. Um, Really and truly, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to really grasp and wrap your head around the logic gates, the actual, you embrace all the truth tables and logic gates and just understand that each solution there's a schematic for and there's a flow. And once you kind of get that, you can start mapping out your own solutions and figuring out how, and I want to do this one on the fly. I have one I literally drew out before I started this video, and I want to do it. I believe it's for the XOR that I was working on earlier. And it's once I do this, This XOR was supposed to be, well, let me show you the schematic so I'm not, you know, okay, where is it? Here's the schematic for the XOR. Each NAND is a four processor solution. So if you've just literally, when I first did this, I threw all those together and it was 16 processors and it was huge. And you can see it in my other chip that I haven't. I know I probably suck at explaining some of this stuff, but I'll get to the point. Just bear with me. It's my own fucking videos. So here's the one that I came up with. This is like within day 2 or so of doing this game, and you can see how just inefficient it is. Because again, you're using all of this stuff and just integrating it, and it's just so many blocks, so much real estate, so much going on. It's just terrible. I don't remember if I actually finished it. Did I? Oh, these moved up there. I think I did. And you just have to move them to their individual positions, because I'm seeing outputs. I don't remember. It's been at least a week or so. But I think this was a working chip, if I remember right. And it was at that point I'm like, this is terrible. And I know this one's working, and then you see how this one's a red. I haven't done anything with these guys yet because I wanted to optimize these guys, and I wanted to wrap my brain around how all this stuff works. So I'm kind of just looking back at what I had done, and you can see how just horrible these things are. But when you're first starting out and you're first kind of grasping this stuff, you just want it to function, to show that you're doing inputs, outputs, voltage, and you're actually doing that. And then you can start taking the next step. So yeah, this was my first design of this chip. Pretty rough, but it worked. These worked. They're just inefficient. I thought I'd finish this one, but maybe at that point I was like, nah, I already know this is horrible. This is completely inefficient, and I just want to just leave this alone and let me get back to the basics and understand how this stuff really works. And that's where I'm getting to. I'm starting to feel more confident that I'm getting this stuff pretty good. So that being said, back to the ego and the learning thing, I definitely separate myself, because it's easy to feel defeated and look at this stuff and go, I don't understand this. This is hard. This is terrible. I get it. I really do. I deal with that people. I deal with those feelings myself. It's rare, but I deal with it when I come across it. And if I really have something I want to learn, what I do and the way I want to explain this is, the moment I feel that frustration, where I'm like, God, I really wish this would work, or this problem would go away, or whatever. The moment that frustration creeps in, I instantly turn it around into, I go from feeling angry or mad, or whatever feelings I'm feeling. The very instant that I'm frustrated, I instantly turn it around by, hey, I'm about to learn something. Because if I already knew the answer or the solution, if I already knew how to solve this problem, it would be solved and the frustration would be gone. But it's not. I still have this problem. I can't figure out why this pen won't write. This is frustrating. I just want this pen to write. Well, no, hang on. You're going to learn something. I know this is probably really a stupid fucking example, but there's a problem with this pen. Well, I can fix it. I just need to figure out, and there's something I'm going to learn. Well, what am I going to learn? Oh, asshole, you're out of ink. Oh, well, This pen obviously ain't going to work. There's no ink. Get you another pen. Oh. So, I mean, I understand that, it's probably a fucking stupid example, but people get frustrated off of simple things like this. They get mad. Oh, this fucking pen's out of ink. Throw it against the wall. And then they're yelling at their spouse or their kids or a coworker. And you're in this negative state. And I'm not saying I walk around all zen like all fucking day or like I'm in la la land. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when there's something like this that happens and it's frustrating that the pen doesn't work, you go get yourself another pen. And I understand it's frustrating if you're in a house and there's no pens, but the state of mind and being mad about it doesn't help the situation. It doesn't do anything for the situation. And so when you feel that frustration coming in, just understand that whatever it is you're mad about or frustrated about, just tell yourself, hey, I'm about to learn something, and learning is good because now I'm learning, how to solve this equation, or I'm learning how to, whatever. I mean, I can go on and on about this shit. I embrace the learning. And I think that if you can be patient with yourself and turn that frustration around, it's very powerful and you can learn so much and just enjoy the process. This that I'm doing right here and learning how to make these chips more advanced is the process that I enjoy. And even though I spent, like I said, over the weekend, probably several hours, I stopped doing videos over the weekend because I found myself just sitting there staring at the screen going, man, I can make this work. How do I make it work? And looking at my video, I'm like, this is horrible. I'm just sitting here videoing myself staring at a screen thinking. And I'm not someone who tends to really explain my thinking a lot when I'm trying to figure something out. I sometimes do, but a lot of times I don't. So this video, you're just looking at me. I'm just like, duh, you know. And so I had a couple of light bulb moments, and I want to give credit for that one. I believe it was this one. I think this is the one that kind of got me going. When I saw how this worked and the genius behind it, I'm like, this is really cool. So you have this first gate. This is your first main gate into like the castle, and then this is your second gate. This was a pretty cool design. Um, I didn't I didn't figure this design out. This thing right here, I did not figure out. I couldn't. I was just couldn't wrap my brain around it. So this chip, the and chip, I was just sitting here just trying to draw different ways of doing it, sending it this way and that way, and I'm like, okay, this works. I was getting like 1 and 2, and then 2 and 4, but I couldn't get them all together. There'd be something missing. I think the number 3 was the main one. I really just couldn't get the solution to work or something, or it was 2. I don't remember which one it was. Um, but I had spent hours on it, and like I explained, sometimes I would, all right, working on it for an hour, can't figure it out. All right, and I got 2 daughters. Sunday my wife was at work, and my daughter Rosie was feeling kind of sick, so I was helping her, giving her medicine, helping her. She wanted to take like a hot shower or whatever, and I got that started for her, and she was trying to relax, and then she'd be in here laying down. I have a bed behind my computer. Sometimes I take naps there, but Rosie was using it Sunday because she wasn't. I always know when she's not feeling well. If she's not up and around and bouncing off the walls, she's not feeling well. She's a very active child, and so most of Sunday she just spent in here with me, and I had time to work on this stuff too, but I was constantly distracted. And I didn't mind that because, again, I'm not going to sit here and bang my head against the wall for 4 hours. Maybe an hour, maybe 2, depending on the situation. But I tend to take my breaks, and if I'm not making progress, then I need to take a break. to come back to, because obviously my brain is in the wrong spot. I need to tackle it from another angle. So I couldn't figure this guy out. I think it was Saturday. I think Sunday I got this design, and then I started working on how this design works. So I'll just show it real quick. How are they? So you see how those gates, those are pretty cool. Once I first saw that, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. But I couldn't figure out. I want to understand how to come up with this, and I don't want to just simply use it and simply copy it. And so the thing is I think what's important is, really doing kind of the outside math, and you have to do some solving and planning. If you're trying to do it on the fly and you kind of don't know what you're doing, like I thought I knew, but I didn't. You're going to fix one problem, but cause another, and then you're going to fix that problem and then cause another, and that was that spiral that I was just involved in. I'm like, man, okay, I got this. Now I caused that problem. Now I got this. Now I caused that problem, and I can explain that in the other blueprint. The other one, I think it was this one or this one. Let me see. So you can see some of that design from the other one. In the and the or, they're just opposites. So you can do essentially the same design, and you're just switching the negative and positive. You're just switching that stuff, and you have to switch your chips. So this is the design I came up with, and I think I can make it even better. But what I figured out for this chip was taking that, was it the and? So and is positive, typically positive flow, and the NAND, or the like your NAND, your NOR, your XNOR, it's going to be negative. It's going to be the opposite flow. These are all AC. These are currents. This is AC. This is alternating currents. This is all this stuff. And so this one being the XOR, the XOR, you're going to be doing mostly positive flow. There's on the schematic, a quick little tip. I didn't know this, is whenever you have opposite flow, they typically will have a circle on the output. That means that's where your flow is coming from. It's a not an inverter. It's just it's reversed, and that's why you see the opposites. You look at your AND gate and your NAND gate. You look at the truth tables; they're flipped. They're typically flipped. Your A and B is outputting 0. You're going to get a 0 on an AND gate, but on an AND gate you're going to get a 1. So they're flipped. So look at, well, I'm not even going to explain that. The outputs. I mean, I could probably show my fucking screen and stop being an idiot showing a paper that I printed out, but this really helped me because I could see it. On your AND gate, every output that's a 0, your NAND gate, the output's a 1, and vice versa. The AND gate, when the output's a 0, or output's a 1, on the NAND gate, it's a 0. So it's just simply flipped. So they're the same chip. You're just going to flip your 1 and your input and your output, your positive and your negative. Your red is your positive. The blue could be the negative. Whatever helps you wrap your brain around this shit. Just make sure you understand that there's a positive flow and there's a negative flow. Same with DC as well, but these are AC chips and whatnot. And again, if you're going to flip them, make sure that not only if you flip, like let's say I put this guy here down to here, and vice versa, the O guy over to here, you're going to need to change your chips. So this this is a positive chip, this is a negative chip. You're red, you're blue. The red guy is not going to flow through a blue chip like that. So you have to reverse them. So I think I've rambled on enough. Let's do this. This is something I just drew out just before I started. I'm not looking for. Let me just get into it. Okay. So I was working on the XOR chip. I have a good XOR chip. It has 8 processors, 8 processors, 8 MOSFET, 8 transistors, 8 MOSFETs, processors. I believe I have a 7 transistor solution for it. And let's see if I got it. I haven't figured out the 6 yet, but this is me just showing the process, showing how my mind works, and showing how I figured it out. And let's see if it does it. So you can see I simply copied that AND chip. This should be an AND version of it because there's the power here. And let me show that real quick before, because I'll want to. So look at the OR. No, I need to look at the NAND. Sorry. I need to not throw people off. Here's the NAND. I didn't do it. Wait a minute. So have I not done an OR? No, I haven't. That's why. Okay. So I haven't even done that yet. But I want to explain that. So why do I have a... I haven't done a NOR gate yet. There's something that I'm fucking up. So these are the... Okay, so when you get to the end, you were at the 6. The schematic was the 6 processor, 6 transistor. Good Lord, man. I'm going in the wrong direction. Because I haven't done a NOR, and I definitely haven't done an XN NOR yet. But I was trying to explain how they are flipped. But I haven't even done them yet. But I've done them in my mind on some of this shit already. So let's get back to what I was talking about. And I'll deal with that later. So I made a functioning XOR chip by simply taking the design I learned through, it was like a Steam screenshot or something I saw, and I just basically copied it. I didn't import the blueprint. So I drew it out myself, and then I added on, in order to do an XOR chip, what I figured out is I just simply added a, excuse me, I needed, so the final one, I think it was, which one was it? One of these, it was when the red came through, I had to stop it right here. I think it was that one. So I think here Yeah, in order to get the when the A and B were red and you wanted a blue output, I knew that I needed the only way I was going to get blue was to send the your blue negative. I needed that to get to the output, and in order to get that there, I needed a what did I need? Um, I needed I needed an NMOS in series so that I can have the A and the B switch the gates on to allow it to flow through. But at the same time, I had this guy coming down here, and it was still allowed to go through right here because this blue gate was there, and it would allow the red through, and then it would cause a short. So I had to redirect this flow to the PMOS for the red, and then I had to redirect one of the red gates over so that when it's red, it'll stop it. So this isn't the most efficient design, but it's functional, and it's still way better than 16 transistors. So you can see that this was what was it, 8? And so at this point, I'm like, all right, what else can I do? I mean, I know it's possible to get 6, to maybe get the volume down, to get the ticks down, and as far as I know, I haven't seen. There's no screenshots of it. I'm sure there's a blueprint floating around out there somewhere, probably on the Discord or something. Um, but I'm not on it, so I'm like, well, I still want to figure it out anyways. Um, Even if I saw someone's design like this one with this nice little kind of castle gate deal in the outward castle gate, the inward castle gate, I think it's a pretty cool design. I wanted to understand how they figured that out and how they got it. Um, and so this is the simplest thing I can do. I thought was, well, let's work on this chip. I know I figured out how to make it work, but what can I do to make this even more efficient? So let's scrap this design and let's implement my schematic that I believe I figured out. And let's see if I can. Again, it's probably not going to be the most efficient block wise. I just want it to work to show that I figured out the schematic. So here's me figuring this shit out essentially on my own. All right, so let's do it that way. I'm going to space it out on purpose just so I can show how this stuff works. Okay. That guy needs to go there. This is a negative. The A needs to go there. That needs to go there. Again, I'm going to space it out on purpose just so I can show the flow easier. Okay. Did I lose you? Did we crash? That was weird. Okay. think that's it. Okay, so this should be the solution for 1 and 3. So, oh, whoops. Oh, that needs to flow through to damn it. Damn it. Thought I spaced this stuff out enough. Let's just move this guy down. All right, so again, this should do 1 and 3. So 3, they're both red. Ah, all right. I didn't think about that. Okay, so I messed that up. So I was trying to use A to feed through the negative, but the problem is when it's red, it's not going to flow. So I messed that up on my schematic. Okay, so I need to come up with another solution that's essentially would be I guess it would be an inverter. But then I'm back to 8. I'm trying to do it to where it was 7 transistors. So I already messed it up. Let me see if my other solution works. And I have to go back to the drawing board on this one. It'd be better. Nah, just restart the whole thing. Fuck it. I don't know. I'm doing things the hard way. All right, let's try this other one real quick. So that was PMOS to an NMOS. Let's see if I ended up doing the same thing. I don't think so. I think I got this one. It's 1 and 3. We want red. I don't know. Probably need the inverter there. They need to, no, I need to do them in parallel. Screwing this up. How does that work? Okay, I think I get it. This needs to go to the other one. Okay. You don't need to do all that. All right. So this is going to be 2 and 4. So A is blue, B is red. All right. So that works. And then when you flip them, when A is red and B is blue, it does the same thing. So that one worked. Unfortunately, it was 4 transistors, but you're essentially setting up an inverter where it's not an inverter. It's the opposite. It's basically if you change, you have 2 inputs. If you change the inputs, you still want the same output. So that's I'm messing this up again. I don't know what that's called. It's like it's not an inverter because the inverter is just simply one input, and you can alternate its output. So if you're sending in a positive flow, you want it to be negative, and then vice versa. If you send in a negative, you want it to be positive. So you send in a 0, it's a 1, and then vice versa. You send in a 1, it's a 0, or something like that. So that's the NOT gate. That's an inverter. This is something I don't remember the name of it, but you're basically alternating the inputs, but still achieving the same output. And then I do that output. This is just simply so that I can take this negative flow and still feed it through to this gate to allow the positive flow through. But I need to go back to the drawing board on this other one and maybe not use the A. All right, so I got a working 4 transistor solution that what I can do is that output can be combined with the other output of my other solution. So let's go back to this one and see if I can figure it out. But again, I might have to draw it out. So I have, those are good. But my 1 and 3 is not good. So what did I mess up here? I can take, okay, so here's something interesting that I'm already noticing is that solution I just did, the 1 and the 3, or what would be, they're numbered differently. The truth tables, people, some of the stuff's different, but basically 2 and 4 are good. So I need a way to essentially make this work right here. So let's show, how can I do this? How can I do this where this is true, and this is true, without and it doesn't short out. How can I make that work? I think it'd be easier to figure out a way to make it work in the other solution. Let's back up here. Regardless of what I do, these guys are way over here again. So here we just need one of them to make it. The solution is in well, yeah. The positive one is in an AND circuit and in an OR circuit. So in this guy, I think this was A and this was B, but it'll still work. All right, so let's see the solution here. Did I grab the wrong blueprint? I thought this was the AND circuit. No, I'm sorry. I've got it. Okay. So he is sending, and I'm just being fair. He is able to send A through this gate through it's the castle wall guy. It's the first part, and then the power does that. So simply sending power to an NMOS gives you that. Okay. So power through an NMOS gives you that. And see, with my solution, I was using the negative. My solution was using the negative to flow through. So let's take the AND solution, and we're going to send A to a negative, an NMOS, and power to that to allow it through. Okay. All right, so here's the state we're in now. Problem is you can't You don't want to constantly send power through that gate, because if, let's say it's the A, I'm doing the same shit that I did this weekend. I'm doing the same stuff. I need to draw it out. No, I got it. I think I got it. I think I can just separate them. Yeah, this circuit works. Let's just do another circuit and combine it at the end, and I believe that'll fix it. Because that's my original design should be able to handle that, right? Well, if we would draw it out, I can figure it out right now. See, I have a weird feeling that this isn't going to work the way I want it, but let's try it anyways. Because again, if it fails, we just go right back to the drawing board. So let's start off with redrawing this. So we want power to allow one of these guys through. And vice versa, when they're red, yeah, I'm telling you, that's not going to work. It's going to end up screwing up the other two. I'm going to end up needing another gate. This is all part of the process. Let's just make this work. That's giving me the same output. Those are both red. Change it to blue. Okay. This is why I need to draw this out. But what I'm worried about is that I'll have a conflict at the end. But let's just make this work for now. So we just simply want those guys to go through when they're both red and when they're both blue. We just want them to flow. But I think I don't want both to go through. I just want one in its current state. So what I'm trying to figure out is which one do I want to send at which time. So at this time, let's look at what's working. That won't cause a conflict. So does that mean I would send the red, use the red for number 3? And that way, when B is blue, it's not causing a problem at the end. Okay, so we need this guy to go to here. Okay. No, that's not what I want. It doesn't cause that doesn't cause a conflict for that one. Oh, it's a backfeed. That's why that doesn't work. That's why that doesn't work. Okay. Doing the same shit that I did over the weekend that I kind of don't want to do. I should be able to draw it out. It should work. So this one works for solutions 2 and 4. When you alternate them, you get the same solution. Okay. I need to come up with a solution to where these guys, either one of these guys, just simply goes to the end when they're in that state, but we don't have a backfeed. So maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I need to send no, because you're going to still get a backfeed either way, whether it's A or B. That's the thing I didn't. I didn't think about. I do have to go to work pretty soon. I really feel like I'm on the right track, though. Because I think once I figure out how I'm going to do it, and then I can also still even combine it even further. And like part of one solution is in another, and I can implement it there. Because all it is again gates, drawbridges, letting this guy through. Nope, no, now you can't go through. Things like that. Um, but I'm still reverting back to what I was doing before, and that's not what I want to do. I don't want to spend 2 hours putting in another, slap another one in. Oh, now it's this, slap another one. Now it's that. I should be able to draw it out and plan it out and implement it. Just like I showed with that XOR earlier, I knew what ones would work. I just simply copy and pasted those guys on, connected them, boom. And I should be able to do the same thing here that I'm trying to do. So in order to get what I need a NAND gate. I need an AND gate for the first solution. And here it is right here. And I need a NAND gate or a NOR gate for the second, for the third. So this one is doing 1 and 3. In here, that's right. That's what I figured out. I was like, all right, I need power. It's not the whole thing. You just need that portion of it. The answer's fucking right in front of me. That's why I went there and I looked at it. Can't just save it, huh? I think it automatically saves. Let's leave it. Let's go to the AND gate. All right, so you want solution number 2, where they're both blue. This is what it does. And just follow the trace. Your A is going through an NMOS as a gate. You don't necessarily need that, but you may need to implement it, so just keep it in mind. So A through an N gate with O goes down to an N gate as the input. And then you also have A going to a PMOS. That PMOS feeds the gate for the N, and then you get your desired output. So it's a 3 transistor solution to get that. So again, I can just simply go out and implement that here. So We're going to go to a PMOS. This guy is going to be an NMOS. And then we're going to do that. And then we're going to get our output. Okay. All right. All right, so we got that. Now, let's check for shorts. No short. All right, so we have a solution for 1. Nope, it doesn't work for 2 because of the combined output. This is a constant. And it's causing a short. So even though we have a solution that we got from another one, that one didn't work. So maybe we will try the solution from the OR gate. Okay, here's the OR gate. Solution number 1 is what we're shooting for. And it's essentially the same thing. Same chip design. However, it's a different trace. So we are allowing B to go through an NMOS, which is obviously what you need for the blue. So you got B going through an NMOS that is fed from a gate from the PMOS of your positive. And the only reason that that can go through is because A is also blue. A is activating the gate. Okay, so let's try that. Okay. PMOS feeds NMOS. Okay. I'm going to do it exactly how I saw it. So you have B feeding that, A feeding that. Your output is going to go here. But I believe we're going to have another short. All right, so here's that. Same thing. See the blue going back? So we have to stop blue from heading back that way. That's the problem. Because once you do that, you're good there. But now when you activate A, I'm sorry, B. B is the problem. Wait a minute. No, we're good. Why did it short out for a second there? All right, let's start over. Here's the first solution. Ah, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, why would it do that? Because it's not going through there. I don't know why it was shorting out. Okay, we're good there. Turn on B. We're good there. Turn on the next solution, same thing. And then now, did we just figure it out already? And it's 6 transistors? How did we lose the third one? The third one. Oh, we haven't worked on that one yet. Duh. So you want to send blue the only way to make this one work is sending, and that's on a NAND or a NOR. I need that to be able to allow it to go through, but I need it to stop. Okay, it's stopped there. It's allowed to flow through there. I think I got it. Man, I wish I didn't have to do one more. There's a 6 transistor solution out there, and I bet you it's very similar to those other ones where you got these castle wall type gate things going on, and you combine one. But I just want it kind of functional. The problem is I'm trying to not do an 8 transistor one because I already have an 8 transistor solution. That was good. That was good. This is good. I wonder if we need to not be up against that. If for some reason it's just freaking it out. Okay, I need to allow that blue to go through. Why is that? I was going to say, why is that red showing up? It's red. It's not allowing that to flow through, which is not allowing that guy to go out. So where's the solution? That's blocked. That's blocked. We need to send A to an NMOS. It's still doing that problem. No, because if we do that, we'll short out the output on the final solution. So it needs to be, unfortunately, an NMOS in series. And then we're back to an 8 transistor solution again. So, but I already know that that'll work. That's essentially probably what I already have. See, watch. Why is it doing that again? So as you can see, I already have a better solution. And for some reason, this thing's freaking out because power stays on for whatever reason. But that's not, I'm just showing the functionality of everything that, this circuit could have been a 16 transistor circuit and we're down to 8. But there's something I'm missing that I think has to involved in the combining that I'm not paying attention to. But I don't have enough time. But I at least wanted to share kind of the process. And, I made a mistake on my, yes, sir. Okay. Wow. 2 days in a row. No, yeah, you're wasting your time. You're doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So, correct. And just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. 6 days. 60. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Is that Westlake 21? Which one? Yeah, which one? That's Old Town. Yeah, yeah. No, it's just there's only one node out there in Old Town. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you do it. It's the easy solution. Yeah. It's too much work for him to do all that. He'd rather just give it all to you. Yeah, yeah. As long as you take care of it, it's done. Uh-huh. Nope. No, because you already do it. So why don't you understand? Well, then don't do it. Then you're going to do it, and then you're not going to get any extra money for it. What don't you understand? They can't. Correct. Correct. Yeah. 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 I used to do a lot of engineering stuff at times and cover for them, and I just said I started saying no for that stuff. Unless I'm an engineer and I get the engineer pay, I won't do it. I do the things that I want to do. I do what I want to learn, and it's been very easy over the years. So hmm, yes,